In this video, we'll discuss about the histopathology of enamel caries. So, coming on to the smooth surface caries. In smooth surface caries, first of all, what you will see is there will be loss of interprismatic rods, the prominence of enamel rods, then the accentuation of stria of Retzius and perikymata. Now coming back to first year, what is perikymata? It is actually the external manifestations of stria of Retzius. Then it will be triangular shaped with apex towards the dentoenamel junction and the base at the surface of tooth. Also, what we will see is that the dark lines, they appear 90° to enamel rods. Then there will be eventual loss of continuity of enamel surface. The surface feels rough to tip of explorer. Okay, now let's discuss about the caries of enamel caries, that is the pit and another type of enamel caries, that is the pit and fissure caries. Now this is important, pit and fissure caries. Now for this I'll be giving you the histopath diagrams, but you must remember some vague diagrams that will help you to understand better. So for this particular thing, pit and fissures, you must remember this diagram. Suppose there is something like this, all right, and we have something like this. Yeah. So surface of lesion. All right, this is the diagram that will help you to understand properly. So now let's talk about it. Now first of all, what we have is translucent zone. We will start this way. Okay, so zone number 1 is translucent zone. Now this is the first zone, so basically it is basically lying at the down, so it is the deepest zone in carious enamel and is the first histological recognizable histological change at advancing front of caries. Now this will be slightly more porous. It will have around 1% of the more pore volume. Then you will see that the fluoride content, this is a very important point in this, what you will see is the fluoride content is increased, but there is than the normal enamel. So but you will see that there is preferential removal of magnesium and phosphate. All right, then further you will also see that the demineralization has also started. So it is here that the dissolution of minerals occurs between the interprismatic and prismatic rods or enamel. Now let's discuss about the second zone, which is the dark zone. Zone 2. This is dark zone. Now what happens here is it is basically lying adjacent and superficial to the translucent zone, adjacent and superficial to translucent zone. Now a very characteristic keyword that you must remember. It is actually positively by, it shows positive by by refringence. Yes, by refringence. By refringence. Now what we see is in the normal enamel it is negative, but here in the dark zone it is positive. You must remember this. Also what you will see is that this zone it is narrower in rapidly advancing caries, and it is wider in slow advancing. Then it has a 2 to 4% of the pore volume. Then it shows some degree of remineralization. Now the third zone is the body of lesion. Now for this, it is the area which has the greatest demineralization. Area of greatest demineralization. It has 5 to 25% of the pore volume. What you will see is there will be the increase in the size of crystals because of the reprecipitation. Because of reprecipitation. Also, what you will see is the stria of Ratzius. They will be more prominent and they will appear enhanced in contrast to the translucency of that area. Now zone number 4, which is the surface. Now this is a very important feature in detecting initial caries or early caries. Here what you will see is partial demineralization. Now this is also negative, okay, by refringence. Also it appears to be unaffected. It is sharply demarcated from radiolucent area below. Alright. Also what you will see is that in this the it remains intact. Now let's talk about some ultrastructural changes. Now this is the prism. Alright. Now initially what is seen is that the caries they start from prism boundaries, and then later on what is observed is that this starts spreading in the center of the prism and along the prism, that is inside the prism. That is basically demineralization. Okay. Now what happens is we know that this thing the dissolution it develops anisotropically. This is the keyword. Now what you mean by it is basically it starts from the center and then it spreads to the peripheries. Now due to this what happens is there is a chance of greater demineralization. That is why. So this completes the histopathology of enamel caries. Also for the diagram, I'll be showing you two diagrams which you can draw in exam. Yes. This is for the patent fissure caries, triangular lesion with base towards the DAJ undermining dark zone, and this is the smooth surface caries.